Well, hello and welcome to another episode of Day Tripper Daz, and I'm standing in front of the building which was erected by the man you saw on that statue just now. His name was Sir Francis, Duke of Bedford, KG. I don't know if that's how you weigh particular dukes or not. And we're in the historic town today of Tavistock, which is a market town on the very edge of Dartmoor, not very far from the River Tamar, where you would eventually go on to go into Cornwall. This town, as you can tell, is one that I would say is a fairly well-to-do one, looking at the state of the buildings. Tavistock famous for its goosey fair, but is also pretty well known for its market, and it's quite a few little stores set up outside. But very shortly we're going to be going into another part of the market, which is the indoor one, which is the pannier market, which I've just seen has been awarded the winner of the best large indoor market in Britain. So we'll go in and have a look at that, and that I hope doesn't disappoint, because that sounds to me like something worth seeing, don't you know? So yes, Tavistock is where we are today. We're going to be walking through the high streets, look at some of the shops. We're going to see some of the other locations, including this very interesting church which is across the road, which hides a little secret. We'll come to that one later on. But before we venture into the town, we need to find out what put this place on the map. And to find out that, we need to go to the canal. So in the distance there you can see the statue dedicated to Sir Francis Drake, the man of course who beat off the Spanish Armada. But we've come down to a much more tranquil place past that busy main road here to what is the Tavistock Canal. And today of course a great place to come and walk the dogs, and come for a run. I'll go for a jog in a little bit, and just generally sort of leave the busy world behind you. But why is the canal here, and why is it so significant to the fortunes of the town of Tavistock? Well, to find out the reason for all of this, we need to head about 4 miles north up onto Dartmoor. So this is Marytavy, a town that lies on the edge of Dartmoor here in Devon. And today a main road travels right the way through it, which takes you to the town of Tavistock. And under normal circumstances, as you're travelling through this location, you'd probably just go straight through it as part of your route to your destination a little further down the road. But go back to the 18th century and this was the location of a very, very major industrial event. And it's this dramatic landscape here on the edge of Dartmoor, very close to Marytavy, that we can still see the remains of what was once the world's most productive copper mine. In fact, over a period of around about 100 years from the late 18th century, copper was produced here in hundreds of thousands of tons over that period. Not just copper, by the way, tin, zinc, lead, and even arsenic. And I'm told even a certain amount of silver was produced from this particular landscape. But this is the problem. There's a lot of material, and if you're going to produce a lot of material, you need to turn that into money, and the only way you'll do that is to transport it to the places where it's needed the most. And when you're in a very barren landscape like we have here on Dartmoor, transportation is not very easy, and that's where Tavistock comes into play, because the ore would be transported from here down to the town of Tavistock, and from there, that's where the canal comes into play. So now we know it's the copper and all the other things that they were mining up on Dartmoor, that they had to find a way of transporting all of that to the rest of the world, basically. And that's where this place comes in. So the mines up at the Wheel Friendship were constructed in the late 18th century. This canal was built in Tavistock in the early 19th century, and once all the things that were extracted from the ground were brought down into Tavistock and this canal was constructed, this would take all the goods quite comfortably down to the River Tamar, which is a few miles in this direction. So this would have been the method of transport to get everything down into that location, and that place is called Morwellham Quay. And so this is where the canal comes to its end as we come to Morwellham Quay. And although we're still about 23 miles away from the sea itself, this is the furthest point of navigation up the River Tamar. It's tidal, and ships of some 200 tons would make their way to Morwellham Quay and would load on board all the contents that would have come from the Wheel Friendship mine that we saw earlier on. And this is where the ships would have then eventually made its way down to the sea and onto places around the world. And it wasn't just the copper and the other metal minerals that they found up at the Wheel Friendship mines and other mines. It would also carry things like limescale and slate and other goods as well. Today you can come along here and you can have a view around the actual location of Morwellham Quay, and it's not just of course what you see here today. They have to have the ubiquitous set of shops, but of course some of these houses would have been fairly genuine. And the great thing is as well, there's a brewery here, that's worth knowing. It's very quiet, by the way. We're quite early here in the morning at the moment. So there's the local grocery shop there. There's a pub here called the appropriately named Ship Inn. There's some nice little railway tracks down on the floor here. Not quite sure, but I imagine that would have been used to cart some of the... Now, if you have a look over here, you can see this almost like... I don't know what you would call it, really. Something that would contain perhaps some of the materials, and those big metal wheels would have run along these tram lines which go into the courtyard. And this would have been a working location, of course. It wouldn't have been a visitor centre back in the day, so that would have been that there. So it's a pretty cosy little place around the corner here if you want to have a pint nowadays. But this is here we go. There's something about the Tavistock Canal here. Persons desirous of tendering for the undermentioned work in connection with the Tavistock Canal. Well, we know all about the canal, don't we? And lots of water features around this little part of the world. It's quite eerie being around here this time of the morning because there's absolutely nobody here except us. So we've got the place to ourselves. But that's very worth knowing, isn't it? You can get some pottery here if you want to get some pots. Very nice. And of course, typically the landscape around this part of the world is absolutely gorgeous. So that's Morwellham Quay. And there's a nice big wheel there as well. No doubt used for some industrial purpose. Okay, so now we've seen how Tavistock really got its name put onto the map, basically through its connection with the quays and transporting the various goods that they brought out of the mines up on the moors. Anyway, now we're going to go back into the town and discover what Tavistock looks like today. So that's a pretty interesting history on how the town of Tavistock made its money. And actually, just looking around the place here, you can see it's very splendid. It looks like there's been a few quid here over the years, so now we know the main reason why. Now we're just going to have a wander around the town today. I've got a lot of family connections to this part of the world. You saw Mary Tavy just now, which is where the mining was done. My mother spent her childhood in this part of the world, and her family, her mother, lived in this part of the world as well. So so what can we see on a day trip to Tavistock? Well, there's a museum here, and there's the historic Guild Hall, but it's pretty well renowned for its markets. We saw one earlier on as we were walking at the beginning of the programme around the part of Tavistock where in a moment there's a man there selling fresh loaves of bread just around the corner, and there's flowers available and all sorts of stuff going on here. But we're going to walk now into this part of the area, which is just simply called Tavistock Markets, and there's a pannier market here, which is an indoor market like you do, but we'll have a little wander around the outside of this first of all and see what sort of things we can see here. The one thing I do like when you come to a shopping area is a little bit like we did in Torquay. We went to St Mary Church and we saw lots of nice little things you don't see anywhere else. I kind of get the impression this is exactly what we're going to get here. So here's a proper cheese shop, which is what's this one called? The Country Cheeses. Very nice. That looks like some sort of delicatessen there. De la Tours. Very good. We're going to go inside these covered markets shortly as well. What have we got there now? That looks like a proper butcher's. Yep. Some proper sausages there, innit? I like a nice banger. They're banging, they are. Right, some needlecraft. It's a Saturday morning, by the way, and we've come down here now. We're just sort of in the autumnal months, but actually it's pretty good weather, isn't it? Can't complain about that one there. Good place you can come and get your hair cut as well. And so, yeah, there's a few nice little tidy little shops here that I guess you're not going to find everywhere else that you go. So let's have a look inside one of what looks like two covered markets here. Let's have a look inside and see what we can see. Very collectible, I believe, and this is something that will please a lot of people. Some railway things. Hornby, probably one of the most famous, I would have thought. This is really going to be very varied. It's hard to know where to turn here. Some lovely pictures that you can see. Do you remember when we went into that market in Bristol, that covered one? I think it was in Wheat Street or something like that. And now these are good. And if you've got one of them, you know, sort of middle class posh kitchens and you like lots of these like little bottle things, then that sounds a pretty good idea to come down to here, really. My brother plays the guitar, so he might want to pop down here, and I see a couple of trumpets there. My other brother plays the trumpet. They look a bit rickety, some of those trumpets, but never mind here. And now we're talking. What do we look here? Headscrow beer. Oh, that's Hawkstone, isn't it? That's old what's his face from Top Gear. That's his brand of beer, isn't it? And something a bit stronger there. Very good. Jeremy Clarkson was the name I was thinking of. I don't know why it escaped my mind for a moment here. Yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it? Now, this is just one of the buildings that form the indoor market, and it's been here a long time, as you can see. It's a pretty impressive looking building. But what we're going to do now is going to pop out this door. It says push or pull, so we'll find out. Yep, that works. What we're going to do now is we're going to find out what's in this other little indoor market bit in Tavistock. If you are coming down here, I highly recommend you do. This is a little gem, this place is. How do we get into this one? We're not that far from Plymouth, and I do know that there are bus routes that take you from Plymouth. Probably take you about 45 minutes, I should think, by bus. So you can get here reasonably easy And like I say, we're not far from the River Tamar, and once you get over the River Tamar, then you enter Cornwall. So there you go. So this looks like a marginally smaller little market place here. Hello, how's the cushions doing? Are they all maps?
Yes, maps, yeah, so into old maps originally.
Are they based on old ones, are they?
Yeah, old vintage sea charts.
Are they?
Yeah.
What's the most popular? Are they all different, or do they?
The Puffin Sicily is probably the most popular one.
Oh, okay.
Like puffins. Or like a puffin.
I don't like a puffin. Yeah. Yeah, fantastic. And you do the mugs as well?
Yes, absolutely, yes. Yeah, the designs across the range.
Tea towels.
Tea towels.
So everything for the modern kitchen, isn't it?
It's all you'd ever need.
Fantastic. Nice one.
Stylish living, you call this.
Is that what it is? I was
But
reading.
not even mine either.
I was reading some the other day. Now in modern kitchens, you've got to get rid of all your above the head cupboards.
Really?
They've all got to go. No, they've got to go.
Everything.
No, what you need now is industrial looking shelves.
Which gather dust.
Oh yeah, they gather dust. I mean, they're completely impractical and serve no purpose whatsoever, but they look great in a magazine.
Yeah.
So that is now what you've got to do there, and maybe put everything in Tupperware.
Okay.
But posh Tupperware,
Lovely.
I would think.
We'll keep all of that in mind.
We will do that. Brilliant. Hiya. Is that actually a local cow or cows?
Yes, they are. Yeah, they're from just near Hathaway.
Are they?
So I'm painting, obviously, this is one of my commissions I'm doing, so they're all pastel painted.
So these weren't customers walking through, they are real wildlife.
Well, it's a real local kestrel, it's a real local peacock, and it's a real local duck and trout, whatever it is. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Do people bring you like pictures of their animals and then...
Pet commissions that I've done.
Okay.
Photograph, painting.
Oh, right, so that's the photograph originally, and
Yeah.
then that's the painting.
I took the photos of both those dogs.
Yeah.
And then that's the stages of the painting to show people that that's the finished painting.
So it's commission job type,
Yes.
isn't it? Nice.
Yeah, I mean, so these are commissions. These are fine art prints of these original. So these are original paintings here.
Yeah.
Which I've just done as like demonstration pieces, and plus somebody might like, random leopard or whatever. Not everybody can afford an original, so if it's not a commission, then I'll do prints from them. But they're limited edition fine art prints, so they're really high quality.
They look like real.
Yeah, so if you look
originals,
at that, which obviously is a limited edition number 4, then compare that to the original painting.
Nice.
Ignoring the size difference.
That's the original there.
That's the original, yeah.
And that's the
glass original gold writing.
and reflected obviously in the
So
price.
the reflection, the glass makes a big difference.
Okay.
I only put, I would put art glass in these if people wanted it, but it costs like another 30 quid or so. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep these prices.
Trying to keep it in there. Yeah. Well, I'm going to bring a picture of my cat in then, and I look forward to seeing the reflection of that one. They're beautiful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, we've now made it into the main high street here in Tavistock, and this has got a bit more of a traditional look, and of course has a few more of the traditional shops you might find on the high street. You've got your chemists, W.H. Smiths, but it also has a few other sort of little boutique shops as well. There's Lottie's Loves with some nice clothes there. A lot of pink going on. Is pink in now? Not really too sure now. More cafes, but actually what I'm heading to is a little shop that I will remember as a child. My parents will have been here, their parents before them would have been here, and it's a delicatessen, which I don't normally go into, but this one I remember because it goes back so many years, and there's a few others that are really quite nice here, but this one is quite special, and I just want to see whether or not it's still here. So I walked to the end of the shopping precinct here in the high street of Tavistock, looking for one particular place, and I don't know if I've actually missed it or whether or not it still exists. Things come and go, don't they? And it's so many years since I last saw this place, and it might well gone. There's an Istanbul Barbers here, if that turns your hair up. But the place I was looking for used to be a delicatessen called Creeber's, but I've been up and down this street once now and I can't see it. So does it exist, or has it gone? And that'll be quite sad if it's actually gone. Excuse me, do you live here?
Well, just outside Tavistock.
Do you remember a shop here called Creeber's?
Yeah.
Is it still here, or has
No,
it gone? Has
no.
it gone?
Yeah.
Was it about here somewhere, wasn't it?
No, it's the
Which is Creeber's.
Used to be a deli.
is it Crew?
Oh, is that the one with the cross on it?
No, it's the one with the shop front that's shut. They put all pretty things
Yeah.
in the window.
Oh. It was down here somewhere, isn't it? On the corner, I think, isn't it?
No, it's next door to Crew Clothing.
Clue Clothing. Oh, right.
All right, you've got white stuff. Then you've got Crew Clothing. It's the next shop.
Yeah,
next
it's
one.
the one with the two-story black and white
Okay.
above it.
Like the Tudor look.
The Tudor look.
The
that's
Tudor,
the one.
that's the word. How long ago did it close, do you know?
2 years.
A couple of years ago?
As Creepers,
Oh, it's Creepers.
Creepers,
Donkeys
Donkeys
years ago.
years.
Oh, really?
Somebody took it on and
half of it, half
was
the
rubbish.
shop. Half the shop went to Crew or
Crew
whatever.
Clothing.
Yeah.
And then they just kept a small bit at the side, or somebody else took on a small bit
Well,
at
the
the side.
business rates killed them really.
Oh,
'cause
is that what it
a
was?
Big shop, so-
Yeah. I remember my parents used to go in there, and their
Yeah.
parents before then
Yeah, I
went
got it,
in
yeah.
there.
Yeah, I mean we.
And they used to be
30
brilliant.
years
The
ago.
code
I
meets and
know.
everything was just amazing.
I
wasn't
know,
it?
I know.
Oh, what a sad
Yeah.
story. Oh, God.
Unfortunately, they keep building supermarkets. On
Oh, yeah. Well, there's only so many Tesco's. How many? We want another
It's like an
Creepers.
amoeba,
Yeah.
Tesco's is.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So, yeah, next door to Crew Clothing.
I'll go and have a look at it. That's sad, but thank you very much. Oh, no, it's not sad. Oh, well, never mind. So it's the building there with the slightly Tudor look about it. That once upon a time was a shop called Creeber's. So it's the Guildhall and the museum and the marketplace where we started our walk around Tavistock. It's right opposite there we find ourselves right now, and of course that isn't a church, and nor is this, but I just thought before we show you this next church, I show you this amazing looking hotel which is called the Bedford. And what strikes me is it's not just a pretty magnificent looking hotel, and I guess that's the place to go and stay, isn't it? But you can even see some old ruins in the back or to the side of the building next to that rather lovely looking conservatory. So that's not really what I'm here for right now. I am here to see the church, but here's my little issue. It's the Tavistock Parish Church of St. Eustachius, I guess that means Church of Eustace. I'll leave that one. Anyway, it was established in 1318, and it's a pretty splendid looking church, as you can see, and I think even the clocks work on this one as well, and that's really right at the heart of Tavistock. But I said it had a little secret, and that is this. This is an archway of something that was here once before. This is in fact the cloisters of the Benedictine Abbey, which used to adjoin the Abbey Church, which was a magnificent building, and it was dedicated in 1318. It fell into decay after the dissolution of the monastery in 1539, and then was demolished in 1700, and so the only thing that's left is this one arch, and here it is. And how fortunate for us today that at least something of that was left, and that's the little secret of this church. But you know, things don't stand still, so the main church itself is still looking really resplendent here, but we've come into a new age now where even that's not enough. We've got to move on to something different, and I see that this little courtyard outside the main church looks to have some more of those lovely little boutique shops. And look, you just can't beat it, can you, when you find these lovely little back passageways, little narrow little streets, and you find things you're not going to find anywhere else. This is the Southwest Craft Shop here, and these look like handcrafted little things that are in the window here and throughout the shop. Very nice too. And I can smell the food coming out of this cafe. There's one thing that is not short of in Tavistock. There's plenty of places to eat here, so that's quite good here. The dogs are enjoying it. Hello. Yeah, it's called Church Lane, so that's somewhere a little bit different. And I never walked past a blue plaque, so this one here said it was constructed in 1825 and attributed to the Plymouth architect John Fulston, who was carrying out building works in Tavistock in 1820 from 1911, blah blah blah, occupied by Ward and Chowan land agents to the Duke of Bedford. And we saw his name on that building right over there when we first started our walk. So what I thought we'd do now, without making even a smallest attempt to pronounce the name of this church, is I'm going to keep quiet for a little bit and we'll have a little stroll inside. So we've left the magnificence of the inside of the church that I can't pronounce and come back out, and I couldn't resist. As I said to you just now, I saw obviously the Bedford Hotel, which looks really amazing, but I saw this little separate building which looks really intriguing, and I couldn't really walk past it until I found out a little bit more about it. I think it turns out to be part of the Tavistock Parish Church Centre, which is down here, like you do. That looks an altogether more modern building, but I'm pleased to say I've found another one of my famous blue plaques here, and this tells me that this is Betsy's Grimble's Tower. The west gate, one of the entrances to the Abbey, dates from the 15th century. Its popular name is probably a corruption of Blessed Grimbald, a 9th century saint revered by Benedictines. And that leads me to the next question. It mentions the word Abbey. So this will need a bit of research, but my guess that this is part of the remains of what once was an abbey. And the nice thing about these day trips, I don't come here pre-armed with all the information in the world. Just have a look in here. That's cool, isn't it? That's really nice. Don't know why, but I got a feeling there's a few ghost stories to be told here. So I'm going to make it a little bit of my mission to find out about the Abbey that apparently might once have been here. Okay, now what I am going to go looking for is something I think a little more modern, and I don't think I've been there before, so we look forward to finding out what this is all about. We're going to a place called the Tavistock Wharf. So just before we head off towards the Tavistock Wharf, wherever that is, I don't know at the moment, I mentioned just now that there does seem to be the remains of an abbey here. And just as I come around the corner, I find this lovely little building here. And this also has a blue plaque. And apparently it's called the Abbey Chapel. So the plot thickens, I would suggest. This tells us that this was part of the Tavistock Abbey. Was on the site at Abbott's Hall since 1691, when it became a Presbyterian meeting house. It has housed nonconformist congregations ever since. So that is Abbey Chapel. Does it get us any closer to finding out about the Abbey? I'm not entirely sure just yet it does, but let's see if we can find out before the end of this actual program, shall we? Now there's a challenge I'm bound to take up. Well, the plot thickens further because we now have Abbey Bridge, constructed in 1762. It was rebuilt in 1860 to improve access to the Great Western Railway Station. And of course you'll have seen at the very beginning of this program the Tavistock Canal. That doesn't mean to say that it doesn't actually have a river that runs through it. But you can see the problem here, going back to why we had a canal built in the first place, that this would really not be very suitable for transporting heavy goods down towards Morwellham Quay. So that's that bit there. I don't know whether now to continue the search for the Abbey or find this wharf bit. Dilemma. Well, now I'm sorry about this, but in a way I'm not, but I just can't let this go, because as I come down along the river here with its little weirs, or fairly biggish weirs, along next to us, there's this magnificent wall, and it seems to stretch on for absolute ever. This has to be a place that houses something very important. Now, this plaque says it marks one of the corners of the Abbey precinct. The still house was where the monks distilled, for medical purposes, yeah, I believe that, herbs from their nearby garden. It was restored in 1884. This has got to be it, hasn't it? This has got to be the grounds of Tavistock Abbey. And just see how far this wall goes on for. What to do? Excuse me, do you live here? I keep seeing the word Abbey everywhere, and I see a magnificent wall here. Was there an Abbey in here?
Yeah, there was. Yeah, it goes all the way round, but most of all the other side's missing. There's quite a history to it. Don't ask me the history.
No, but I'm right in thinking there was an Abbey in here.
Yeah, the other side, and
bits of it still seem to be like corner bits of it seem to be here,
yeah,
but not.
Still bits. I don't know if the tourist information is open in the town, but if it is, they might have
some details on it. I'll go and check it out. But no, I'm just really curious, because it looks like it's, I mean, this wall's anything to go by. It's huge, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. Thank you for that. Okay, I think we found out a bit more information there. Before I go wandering miles down this particular wall there, we now know for certain this was the grounds of the Abbey. I feel like we've done some good detective work on that one there. Anyway, I'll continue my journey to find what I actually was setting out to do. It was find this place called the Tavistock Wharf.
For a small donation.
Yeah, well, yes, if you take my card, I will gladly do that.
Not for 20 pence.
Oh, no, don't worry about that.
Oh, just take a picture then, that's
I'll take a picture then. So this is in the visitor centre,
Pleased to see that.
and that is the Abbey.
There's bits of it left, and there's a lot of work going on with a group in Tavistock now that are trying to bring it back to some sort of historical route.
Yeah, so I saw
Yeah.
I saw bits of it outside the Bedford Hotel, is it?
And
There's a
there's
chunk
some
there.
outside the church.
Yeah. And then there's like a perfectly intact, like small, like a little chapel thing there on the near the bridge.
Yeah.
That,
Sure.
I don't know if that was there originally.
And if you walk down by the river, did you come up that way?
That's where I saw the wall.
Yeah, and then if you read
wall.
on there, there's a sign on there that it was that's where they made the medicines, isn't it? And
Yes.
but if you go into the Bedford Hotel,
Yeah.
not into the hotel, but in the side, into the car park, walk over a little bridge at the far end of the car park, it opens up into a big space, a green, and there's all sorts of things in there.
Is there?
Yeah.
Fantastic, yeah. And I keep seeing this word here, and I thought, well, I'm going to have to find out what that is there.
But there is an ongoing thing about it anyway, so in the future there will be more books.
Oh,
on that,
fantastic.
But, yeah.
Oh, excellent. Thank you for that. So I didn't have 20p. I would have
No,
definitely
you've
bought
got
them.
it first.
Oh, thank you very much. That's very nice. There you go. So wasn't that helpful in the Tavistock Information Centre? And they really have given me some idea exactly what the background to the Abbey here at Tavistock is all about. We are going to get to that final location shortly, which is the Tavistock Wharf. We really are going to get there. But whilst I was in there talking to the ladies in the information centre, they told me I had to once again come to the Bedford Hotel. We're at the back of it now. By the way, I saw Stables Number 1 written above one of the doors there, which indicates this was probably some form of coach house at one stage. But as the ducks come down this little brook, I was told to cross over this little bridge at the back of the Bedford Hotel into what is probably a very nice beer garden. And there's the corner bit that I think we saw just now as we were walking along this magnificent wall, which obviously was part of the Abbey. But I have to tell you, I've seen some... I don't think we can justify it by calling this a beer garden, can we? This is an enchanted garden. I mean, just look at this. It's beautiful. I mean, this beer garden doesn't do it justice, does it? How lovely is this? And I think this would be well worth getting yourself a drink and coming into this amazing spot here. That's really good. Right, okay. So, we are now going to the final part of our journey and our day here in Tavistock in Devon, on the edge of Dartmoor. Don't really know too much about it. I think it's a bit of a sort of cultural location, a meeting place, perhaps one or two things a little more modern than some of the things we've seen so far. But it really definitely, I won't be distracted this time. We are 100% going to go to the Tavistock Wharf. By the way, if you've enjoyed this programme, I've really enjoyed making this one, then please press the subscribe button and maybe give me a thumbs up. And of course, if you've got any comments, if you know something about the Abbey, then please leave me a little message. I really appreciate it. And as anyone who's actually sent me a message in the past, I always make every effort to return the comments, so thank you very much. Well, as I promised myself and I promised you, we would actually make it to our final location here today in Tavistock. We've made it to the Tavistock Wharf, which I believe once upon a time was a industrial centre, but in recent times has been converted into like an art centre. It's also a place for various other things, like a little cinema I think is in here. What else have they got down here? It has live music nights, a coffee shop and a bar. So here it is, the wharf. So let's have a little look inside and see what it's all about.
My sister is really into all this.
Oh, brilliant. Well, as long as somebody in the family is got it. Morning. I think somebody trying to get behind you.
Oh, sorry.
There we go.
Yes, thank you. Well, this looks like a little oasis, really, doesn't it? What have we got upstairs? Look at this little art gallery going on at the top there, as there is down the bottom. Let's just have a look at some of the local artistic talents that are going on here. Quite sure what that one's about.
I did something like that in my kitchen by accident once. But no, some nice local artists' work which has been done here. I wonder if this is a sort of symbolism of the town. Looks pretty good, doesn't it? There's a piano there if you want to have a little bit of music. Let's just have another little look around here. It's just very quiet, peaceful, tranquil. Looks like they've got an outside bar here. And there you can just see, in fact let's go outside and see it. This is the part of the canal that we so famously have been following during the course of this programme. And once again the ducks are very much enjoying the tranquility of this lovely autumn day here in Tavistock. And all the buildings are so fantastic, aren't they? Just really lovely. Let's have a little further look inside and see what we can see. So what you've got here, of course, it gives us a very good sort of idea. You've got the canal here, and then just the other side of this area you have the river, and I think it's to the and just to the other side of this there's a fairly big leisure centre as well, and they've got a cafe going on in here as well. So yeah, I thought this would be a bit more sort of modern compared to some of the places we've seen so far today. But I really don't think we can end this particular episode of Day Tripper Daz without getting back out to see the remnants of the Abbey and the Abbey wall that we saw down by the river. So I think that's a good place to bring this programme to a close. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this episode of Day Tripper Daz. This is the point where we say goodbye, and very much have enjoyed making this. And actually Tavistock has become a place of so many surprises that I've learned a lot more about this location. So from me, Day Tripper Daz, until the next time I see you, it's goodbye.